Kayla Waters, how's everything going?
Everything's going good, Don. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I am just elated and happy to see you again since our last music video project, and then been seeing you all online.
Yes. Look, hey, I'm hoping to do another music video soon too.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful, wonderful. And before you even introduce yourself, we've hit what, #1 on charts several times. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, 3 times.
Great. Well, look, it's great to see you. It's not so great to see you on Zoom, but hey,
Right.
we're making things work out, with the times that we're dealing with, right?
That's right. We're making it work.
Yeah. So background is awesome. Thanks for being at the piano too.
Absolutely.
Look, for the people that for some reason that wouldn't know who you are, please introduce yourself. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Well, my name is Kayla Waters. I am a jazz recording artist. I'm a pianist. I am a composer. I am a producer, and I love what I do.
Awesome, awesome. And how long have you been playing and the type of music? Tell us a little bit about that.
I've been playing since I was a baby. I mean, I started tinkering at the piano at 10 months old, started taking lessons at 6, studied all through high school, went to the Nathan Carter School of Music in Baltimore, and continued on and got my degree in classical piano from Howard University. And ever since graduating, that was, wow, 7 years ago. And, I got my first baby grand piano and I began honing my sound, and I said, hey, I think I'm a writer. I should come out with my own material. And so it just kind of flowed from there, and I've got 2 records out and working on my new album. So it's just been a beautiful journey so far.
Awesome. And that's the real HU you indicated, correct?
That's the real issue.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
That's the real
I won't even mention the other institute. I'll just say you had the real HU. Now you come from a background of you have a musician background. It's not like you just picked up any instrument. How did you get started? And tell us a little bit about the background, because I know your father's a musician as well.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I come from a musical family. My dad is a international jazz icon, Kim Waters. So I've been blessed to grow up around him, to glean from his career and his success. And I just grew up with music all around me. Every time I looked around, I was at a concert, I was at a rehearsal, I was playing in church, I was singing in the youth choir, and
Right.
Studying classical. So I've had so many experiences with music, and it's just a part of me.
Definitely, yeah. So, and we have a business relationship because before we even get to that, tell us a little. Your music is not just inspiring. Your music touches the soul, but it's not just regular jazz. Talk to us a little about the inspiration behind your music, and basically how do you inspire the world?
Right, absolutely. Well, if people follow me, some people may know, some people don't know, but I think my music, it speaks this without even saying it, but I'm a worshiper.
Right.
God, and he is a part of my music. The music that I write comes from him, all the ideas, the concepts, the sounds that I use. So I spend a lot of time with him, and he guides every move, every moving part of a song. And so it just comes with having a relationship, and that exudes through my music. And naturally it brings healing to people, it brings peace, it brings joy, it brings comfort. It's just it's a heavenly sound, and that's the best way I can describe it.
No, definitely. I mean, like I said, just our relationship. Thank you so much. We were honored to
Yeah,
be, the first directors and producers to work on your music video. We appreciate that so much.
yeah,
Being in the environment of shooting and documenting your music video, a lot of people, just the cliche words of being elated, but we were we were mesmerized. I mean, we were there to do a job, but at the same time, just listening and watching you doing your craft was amazing. And like I said, I appreciate you selecting us to work on first music video, correct?
my very first. I mean, it was new to me.
Yeah,
So I mean, it was a wonderful experience. I think we knocked it out in what, 14 hours, 12, 14 hour
I
day.
think so, pretty
One day,
much. Yeah.
one day.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just don't know, you know, behind the scenes, and we did a couple of behind the scenes with you, of really understanding like what it takes, not only just to be a musician, but what it takes for production. You know, you see a video that's what, 3 to 4 minutes, and then it takes 14, 15 hours to actually shoot to really get it right.
Hey, and then the post, you
Yeah.
know, all that, putting it all together. That's
Yeah.
the, oof.
But we the thing that we appreciated more about you and working with your manager was because and she is awesome, by the way, as well.
Yes.
Both of you knew Masoro. Both
Yes.
of you knew exactly what you wanted as far as storyboarding, like what the music video was going to be. But the fact that you really understood between the song and the shots and everything we had to put together, we that's appreciative of producers to be able to work with you on that.
Right, absolutely. I think it was just a beautiful group effort. You know,
Yeah.
I put my part in, you guys helped, and it just all came together wonderfully.
Definitely, definitely. So look, so now we're dealing with, I think, one of the most interesting times, I think, in our even our lifespan, a decade. I mean, for people that are young adults now or just being alive, I think this is the first time the world, not just America, but the world is dealing with something that is traumatic to keep everyone at home. How has COVID-19 shifted, you know, with performances and you just being an artist?
Right. Well, I think the biggest impact that I've had is just my calendar, my tour calendar. You know, all of my shows have been canceled. I still have a couple of shows that are holding on
Hmm.
for October, November, December, but again, those may cancel out if things don't get better. And so
Right.
that's kind of been the biggest hit that I've taken is just my performance schedule getting cleared out this year. So I'm very grateful for, you know, multiple streams, you know, from, you know, income that I still receive from being a writer and being a producer and, you know, as well as being on staff at my church. So I'm just grateful for all these different avenues that I'm still able to sustain and stay above
Right.
ground.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I definitely want to talk a little bit about that. How have you how have you been operating? I think for a lot of artists and creatives that'll probably be looking at this, and you know, people that are aspiring musicians, how have you been operating to still stay relevant and stay connected to your audience?
Right. Well, I know for me during this period, I've been doing a lot of work on my new album, and you know, I think that this time it's a difficult time, but it's also a blessing because
Yeah.
I haven't had this type of rest in a very long time. I mean, last year I was out three
Right.
weekends out of a month touring, and so
Mhm.
my body was really just worn out, and so I've just had time to work on new material, and I've been engaging, I've been sharing my creative process more online. And you know, when I did my first, I mean, I'm sorry, my second album, Co-Evolve, I completely did that underground, and so I'm trying to engage more with everyone and share more of my creative process and you know, what the writing process looks like, what happens when I start to produce a song. And
Nice.
so as far as my work, I'm doing a lot of work for my personal project, but I'm also opening up to produce for other clients as well. So I've launched my production company, Pure Key Productions LLC.
Nice.
So yes, thank you.
Yes.
It's a kingdom based production company. I say kingdom based, not that it's secluded just to gospel music or anything. It's open to all genres, but how I operate is just based on kingdom principles. You know, fruits of the spirit. You know, I'm discerning with which clients I select and what type of music that I'm going to end up writing for such clients and things like that. So I'm really excited to launch that and, you know, working with new clients to help them produce their own sound.
Thank you so much for saying that. I think, you know, one of the silver linings that we see a lot of creatives and business folks and small business people and entrepreneurs are doing is things that they were putting on a back burner
Yeah,
or things that was a burning inside for them to do, they're actually getting an opportunity to do it, right? So if we look at the silver line, we're like, well, this is one of the perfect times
right,
to launch something, you
right,
know, to really do like a passion project that's going to really mean something to our career growth.
right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's amazing. And I think, you know, artists that are listening, you know, it gives them a little edge and a push to be like, hey, you know, you know, maybe I can assist writers. Maybe I can do different things. Maybe I can assist my church, you know, because a lot of people fall into this idle mode so easily, and you still got to keep relevant, you know, and keep
Yeah.
moving. So have you done any, because we're living in this real weird world now of like online, right? Have you done any online training or performances?
Well, I'm going to be working on a live stream coming up probably in a couple of weeks. I haven't done one yet, so this is going to be my first one. I just was kind of patient with it, you know, because
Yeah,
I see a lot of people, a lot of artists, they do it like every week,
yeah,
and I'm like, you know, when the world does open back up and we're able to tour and perform, I want people to still come to my shows. So I don't want to give away
yeah.
a whole concert week after week after week. So I said, well, hey, I'll do one in a couple of weeks and space it out and maybe do another one the following month. But I don't want it to, you know, build gratitude towards me. I really wanted to just bless others, and I would love to give proceeds to a cause like a children's hospital, or, you know, so again, I don't want it to, I don't want people to marvel at me, but I really want it to bless others.
Right.
So definitely a couple of weeks I'll be doing a live stream concert, and it'll be for a profitable cause.
Well, speaking of live stream concerts and playing music and blessing people with your amazing beats, you're sitting by your piano. So I'm gonna ask you, if you don't mind, to just give us a little something something.
Sure.
I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna grab my energy drink so I can be able to listen and enjoy.
Yes. Okay.
Let the SCTV viewers enjoy some of this.
Yes. I'm just gonna flow.
For sure.
Let's see what comes out.
Okay. My wife came down here to be blessed by your music too. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
During this quarantine moment, you just blessed the Napoleon household today.
yeah. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. I started getting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I forgot. I can't go too long.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like I know, and I'm so happy you played because some artists and musicians are like, no, it's not gonna sound too well. I would love to, if if this is something you're looking into, I would love to set up something as far as like probably with some students like a Q&A and have you just kind of talk about your process and play a little bit for them, or
Yeah,
maybe do like a fireside chat. I think right now a lot of people are home and they would enjoy something like that on a Friday or Saturday.
I would love to. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, I tell a lot of people this is a time to be creative. Get
Yes.
creative. Do things in a different way. It's time to be unique. It's time to step outside of the box. What better time to do so?
Well, let's talk about that. But I've been having these SCTV programs and shows, but like if we set something up like that, I'm gonna have to put a little button with a cash app for you because you gotta understand, like artists are home,
Yeah.
and just like D Nice, the first time I jumped on, people were cash apping them because on the regular you're in the club, and you're being paid. And for you, a lot of concerts have
Yeah.
the timing has changed. So not if we do, when we do something like that, I'm
Yes.
gonna have your cash app there. We'll do something probably live because I definitely want folks to support you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would love to do that.
No, we'll definitely talk about it as soon as we get offline. So look, so we're in a music rhythm, and before we kind of get into some two or three other deep questions, um, producing your music, writing your music, you have more time to do it now.
Yeah.
Just kind of give a glimpse of that, a little bit of that process, and if things have changed a little bit because of our timing now.
Yeah. I think. Well, I started producing on a serious level 4 years ago, and when I go back and I look at how I wrote and composed and produced for my first album, it's completely different now. I won't say different, but it's more mature. It's a more mature process. I'm kind of in my rhythm.
Yeah,
If I'm in my bag, if you will.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm in my bag now. It's a beautiful process. It's a very creative process, and I like to tell people all the time when I'm creating, I feel like I'm painting. I
Yeah.
love art. I feel like I'm creating a masterpiece when I program a kick drum or when I program a snare. That's like me taking my little paintbrush and adding a wisp of this and adding a wisp of that. And so it's like I feel like I'm an orchestrator when I'm behind my piano. When I'm producing, I just feel like I'm this this conductor or
Yes, yeah.
this big orchestra, and you've got your drums and you've got your bass and you've got your piano and the strings. And so I really don't know how I'm able to hear all these things, and I don't play any of those instruments, but
Mhm.
God has just blessed me with an ear to know how to
Oh man.
play or to emulate a violin line or to emulate what a flute line, how a flute line would sound in certain area of a song. So it's just a creative process, and it takes a lot of detail, a lot of
Mhm.
precision. I was in the studio yesterday working on a song. Actually the night before I was working on it, I went to bed at 3 a.m. I was so excited about it, I couldn't sleep, and I was back up at 8 a.m. working on it all day, and then finished till 6 o'clock. So it's like once you're in that mode, it takes over you, that creative process, and I was just hungry for it. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to stop, and so I've learned tenacity, I've learned endurance, discipline, hard work. Even at home, I'm still on a schedule. I've got
Right.
calendar, and I've got goals. So it's a beautiful thing.
You just gave kind of a mini master's class on like the art of creativity for an artist or a musician. I had an idea once before is to kind of delve deep into that conversation
Yeah,
because it is an art and
yeah,
you literally do go somewhere else,
right.
right? This kind of higher sense of mind so you could be able to produce what is inside and what you have to deliver to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a different realm. Like when I'm back here in my studio, I feel like I'm stepping into a spaceship,
Oh man.
going to a different planet, or it's just a different realm when I'm in
That
the.
is so beautiful. It's, you know, it's so interesting because the weird thing to say is, wow, we wish we could be inside your mind. You know what I'm saying? For like the creative people, but you actually do bring us into your world when you deliver the music to us.
Exactly. All those nuances, intricacies,
Yeah.
especially this next album. I mean, whew, this thing is on another level.
Yeah.
I'm like on Pluto with this one.
So you're like, I think for you, I see a lot of different, everyone in their different businesses, entrepreneur, everything that they're doing is different. You're in this incubator mode now. What's next for Kayla Waters and your production company? Like, what's next?
Yeah, well, definitely, prayerfully, I'm not sure when this next album's going to be out, but it'll be done soon. I don't know if it'll drop this year or maybe next year. Just got to wait on the right timing.
Yeah.
But something else I'm also passionate about, of course, my producing my own sound as well as enhancing the sound of others. But I want to get into film scoring. So that is like the next big thing. Like I have an ear for strings and orchestration and just I can make I can see a video or something that has no sound and I can put sound to. I know that that's a gift that I have, and that's something that I definitely want to delve into this year and moving into next year. So that's going to be the next leg or the next stream that I'm looking to uh, get marinated and
That is
get my feet
beautiful.
wet.
And you know, I was just, the next question I was going to dive into was, because we always kind of give SCTV gives tips, you know, and you just took the tip that I was going to give. I was like, have you thought about film score? Because,
Oh,
or projects or documentaries, because I think a lot of musicians, I don't know, you tell me, do musicians think about doing that? Is this something, is it an area that they're afraid to go into?
well, I think that I don't think some people are afraid. I think I for me, I know that my theory at piano, my degree study has definitely has equipped me to be a film scorer. Even my compositional work. How I write and compose. So I think your other gifts make room for other gifts. So like my gift of composing, producing, that easily is like the foundation to delve into film scoring. So I mean, I don't think a lot of musicians are afraid. I just think they may need to work those
Got
other
it.
gifts in their palette before
Yeah.
they can really take that on. And
Yeah.
so yeah.
I look forward to seeing your name on credits for something like that. And even for us too, we're looking at our new transition, you know, post, I mean, well, coming out of CV19, and you know, a lot more documentaries, a lot of documentary projects are being, they're in development and talks about it. And I would love to kind of lean back and talk to you about, you know, how do we incorporate, because now as a production company things have changed, so how do we incorporate scoring and really making sure that you're credited and paid for your time? So
Yeah.
that's definitely something we would love to talk to you about as we move into that area.
Oh,
um Tips for artists, young aspiring artists that are home, or even artists that are not aspiring but they're performing, you know, maybe not at your level, but any tips that you can give them in this period of the dimension that we're in right
the first thing that came to mind, or the word I just heard, authenticity.
now? Hmm.
Um, I know, before I really, I feel like I'm knee deep in who I am right now. I feel like I know what my calling is. I know what my sound is. I know what my purpose is. I think that your message and your music comes across more clearer and it's more organic when you know who you are from the inside. And I see a lot of young people. I'm still young. I'll be 30 this year. I'm still young.
Yeah.
I see a lot of young people, um, you know, they're trying to emulate other people,
Hmm.
but being themselves.
Yeah.
It took me a while to understand that. I don't have to try to look like anybody else. I don't have to try to play like anybody else.
Right, right.
I'm passionate about creative things. I'm passionate about God, and that's my identity, and that's what makes me unique, and that's what makes me authentic. And
Hmm.
so my advice would be to hone in on who you are, hone in on what your identity is, hone in on what your purpose is, and your music it'll punch when it comes out because you've got that you know who you are. So
You said something just so important and so key, and I've heard this over and over and over again, where the people that have arrived but they're still ascending in the space where they're supposed to be in their life is hone in on you,
right,
and whatever it is that's speaking through you, that's what you deliver, because there's no sound out there that's saying, oh, that's the sound or that's the proper sound. It's Kayla's music,
right,
right? And that's going to resonate, because that's why God has you here to perform, and he has you here to do what you're doing. Now imagine if you were playing other music or doing other things and not playing what you were blessed to do. So thank you for sharing that, because I think that should sit really well with aspiring artists, because some of them fall into a difficulty of like trying to find themselves, you know? And I think that's important. And I've seen it. I think so from the first day we met, um, Kelly called us. Remember the first recording we did at a venue in DC? And
yeah.
yeah,
That was 4 years ago.
it seemed like a
Wow.
long time ago. Yeah.
Wow.
But I saw the passion there. I saw the people that were there to support you, but I saw the passion. I was like, we got to work with her again. Like, we just have to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So even from that project, and then you called us back for the music video, I've appreciated the friendship,
Oh, yes.
business relationship, and then just the opportunity to be a fan. You know, like, I'm a fan.
You still got to take us to that Mexican restaurant that you was telling us about that
Oh,
one.
Las Placita in DC. Oh, you already know. All you gotta do is remind me. I was waiting for the weather to break.
I know. I just randomly thought about that. I was like,
Yeah. Oh no.
the restaurant
Listen,
was working.
that's gonna be one of our post CV19 celebrations from client to business. We're gonna make sure we go, and don't be afraid to remind me.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, for sure.
We're gonna go. So look, how can anybody find you? Where can they find your music? How can they stay connected to you?
Yes, absolutely. They can head over to my website, www.iamkaylawaters.com. All of my social media handles, Instagram, Facebook are at I am Kayla Waters, Twitter, I am Kayla Waters. So yeah, that's how you can find me.
Thank you. And what I'll do is I'll actually get the information from you, and I'll post it here, and I'll post it on the video at the end of it, or probably during it as well, so people could be able to follow you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Most amazing Kayla Waters, for blessing me with your conversation, your insight on your not just your brand, but who you are as an artist, and in sharing a little bit of your music today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Don. And hey, I can't wait when we collab again.
Definitely.